There, yay, hallelujah. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, sorry you guys. So let's start with your assignment really quick. Can you guys hear me? Now that I'm sweating and like crying.
You can tell that we've been working on
my queen bee hat. Queen mug. No. Okay, you guys saw us earlier. We were here like 4 hours ago and it was perfect. So anyways, and now we've even got like a producer here, like setting things up. And then, yeah, so anyway, gotta love it. So I have an assignment for you guys to do. It's gonna take a few minutes to do. And while you guys do that, I'll kind of set the space and everything. But I want you guys to, you guys need to write your story that we're gonna burn tonight. And if you can't sit down and write it or whatever, I mean, you don't really need to burn it, but we're gonna kind of burn it. But I want you guys to write down like your story, like the story that you, like me, it was like, oh, I got in a car accident, I hit a fire hydrant, I met my higher self, and then after that I started seeing spirits. You know, like that's one story. Another story, yeah, I was in college and then this happened, I dropped out, and then my boyfriend cheated on me, and then this happened. So it's like we have like these like stories or like place, we have like almost like bookmarks in our life where we go like, okay, I've got this that happened to me, this that happened to me, and this that happened to me. And those are literally what your whole life is based on. Placeholders? That sounds okay, yeah. Wait, you lost me? Who lost me? Everyone did, or somebody heard me enough to hear placeholders? We can hear. Okay, so she just lost. Okay, nice. All right, so, oh, nice, okay, sweet. Yeah, Sonia, we had to do it because somebody was logged in as me somewhere and it was causing an issue. So anyway, all right, sweet. So, I'm gonna put this down here. All righty. So we're starting an app, and that's the reason why I'm doing, I mean, one is I love you guys online, but two is we're trying to create a more professional atmosphere, like right here, instead of me like, oh yeah, ha, 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 remember that one time, ha, 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 because people were saying it felt like they were going to like a really fun party, and they were watching it, and that was about it. So I figured it'd be more engaged with you guys. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about Jessica. And more engaged if I could be online here, and then there's still people hanging out upstairs, chilling together, hey guys. And then that way we can use some of this class stuff for the little TV app I'm starting. It's gonna have like unlimited use of like meditations, and it's gonna have all the classes, and gonna have like under 5-minute lessons, under 10-minute, under 20 minutes. So there's like so much material here, like you have no idea how much material we have here. And that's not even counting all of the Skeptics Guides conversations that Bill and I have, and all the conversations, the thousands of hours me and my dad have of channeling the guides and stuff. So those of you who volunteered to help with looking through stuff, thank you. And as soon as my brain is reset enough after tonight or today, then I can, tomorrow's my plan is to start going through all the material, putting them in Dropbox, and then sharing it with the people that were willing to listen to stuff and kind of weed through stuff with us, because we have so much good stuff. I read my dad's books, and I'll read like one page and I'm like, wow, there's so much material here. This is amazing. So anyway, so I want you guys to write down your story, okay? So your 3 stories. So let's say, you know, you meet someone who's professional, what's your story? You meet someone who's spiritual, what's your story? And then you meet someone who is personal, what's your story? And you don't have to write the whole thing, but it would help for you to we're gonna take like 5 or 6 minutes and I'm gonna turn some music on, and I'm just gonna have you guys really just kind of think about the story, because it's gonna be gone. afterwards, after class. It's like after I got rid of the, I hit a fire hydrant, and I mean, I used to tell it with so much enthusiasm. I used to be like, and then I hit this fire hydrant, I had a seizure, and like my higher self was right here, and I had this other ball of light here, and like I was like so excited about it, and now I'm just like, yeah, I hit a fire hydrant, and yeah, it's not even worth telling. You know, it's like like we come up with new stories because those new stories are what our life is based on, and that's our perception of our life. And we're going to get into kind of like this time travel series right now, and you're going to learn how to go back and kind of release those old stories that are fueling your anger. And my dad hit me right in front of everyone on Thanksgiving Day, and everybody was like, oh my God, you know, like, so now like your whole idea about men and your dad or the holidays is just destroyed because of that story that you have, whereas every other holiday after that was good or whatever. So I'm going to just turn some nice music on, and I'm going to, ooh, there we go. And while you guys are doing that, I'm just going to go through and clear your houses because we've got some mediums here that's got some ghosts. And ghosts no bueno for me. I don't like them. I don't like spirits. Who lives in Connecticut? Someone lives in Connecticut. If you do, just chat, do the little chat thing, and give me your address. So I can clear that space. It's Connecticut, and then there's someone in, what's that state above Texas? Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm.
The Panhandle State or something like that? No, Panhandle State is, no, it is? I thought that was Louisiana. I'm so, if I go any further south than La Jolla, if I go any further south than La Jolla and here, I'm like, where am I? I'm in Mexico. No, just kidding, Southern San Diego people. Okay. Let's see. Oklahoma, yes. So whoever's in Oklahoma. The 3 stories, Debbie, are to write down your 3 stories: the professional, your personal, and your spiritual. So like, you know, I tell a different story if I meet someone who seems woo-woo. I'll kind of tell them like, you know, like if someone's like, so what do you do? I'm like, I'll usually say I'm a teacher. And then they're like, if they're really wanting to chat or kill time, they'll say, what kind of teacher? And I'll say, spiritual teacher. And if they're like, oh, really? Like what kind? Then I'll usually tell them like, oh yeah, I used to be like a mortgage broker and I had this spiritual awakening, and I, you know, I teach people how to protect their energy because I started getting psychic attacks and blah, blah, blah. Like I kind of like play it down because I don't have to give them a free reading because it always turns into that. It's their guides trying to like connect us, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to give them a reading in the middle of the bank. But if somebody seems really religious, I tell a different story. So just kind of think of your scenarios. You don't have to use mine, professional, personal, and spiritual, but just kind of, and if you have more stories that you tell, write down more stories, write down more of them. That way we're going to burn them all. And I'm going to help you guys, but I'm going to teach you how to do it so that you can do it in the future. And then those of you who are practitioners yourself, you can teach your clients how to do this too, because this is really important stuff. Like in that, can you please type the 3 stories? Me?
So can you type your stories?
Oh yeah, they can type them or write them. Yeah, if they want to type them, they can basically, when we do the exercise that we're going to do next, they can just imagine that there's a piece of paper and they're burning it. People that are very like tactile and they really, really want like to burn something, they can literally go burn it, but that's at your own risk. That teacher, she told me to burn the house down. Yeah, I know. Where's the disclaimer? Marla's like, hold on, sign this contract. She's been dealing with contracts all day. Okay, hold on. Let me find my sweatshirt. This shirt's starting to freeze. I got a couple bites. I should probably draw my picture of my light body before. Huh? My craft, yes. Not Kate yet. Where's Kate? She's having a girl. And probably a boy right after, because I swear there's a boy there. You see it, huh? There's something, this camera is touched up. It looks just bad quality. I have an Apple computer. The Apple may work better, huh? Ooh, you know, good story to burn. I just heard someone's, an email that I wrote that somebody sent me a little earlier. I think she might actually be here at class. She says, I'm having a hard time attracting my mate, or attracting somebody into my life, you know? And I thought, what are you, a peacock? Like, you know, like attracting, like the wording, like that's literally what I heard in my head. It's Peter, my smart ass guide. What are you, a peacock? And then the guides were like, actually the way that we word looking for that person in our life is very important, because if it's like, I'm not attracting the person that I want to be with or whatever, you're actually blaming it on yourself. Like, do you get like the wording of that? Like, I'm not attracting, like actually like she's doing something wrong. So the guide said to tell her to say, I haven't met my best friend that I'll also be in love with yet. And that's what people need to say, because the person that you are in love with and that you're with is your best friend, and you're also in love with them. So I thought that was kind of cool. I was writing that in an email to somebody a little bit ago. And so that her story of not being able to attract into her life her mate or whatever would be a story. Like, it's actually her fault that, you know, she hasn't met the man of her dreams. And also, I want to like rotate this a tiny bit, and then I'm going to plug that. Should I plug that camera in? Yeah. Because this is just way too fuzzy. It's so fuzzy. Ooh. Something just got way better. I think it's just because that light came closer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it just came closer, okay. Anyways, so you could do your story in love, or your story in whatever, or hey, if you haven't found like the perfect job. Oh my God, that's so much better. There we go, okay. Yay! If anybody is having major lower back pain issues, you need to leave. I'm just kidding. You need to leave. I'm just joking. I seriously am like, my back is like killing me right now. So we're gonna do a grounding exercise, but we'll do like 3 more minutes or 1 more or 2 more minutes just for the story. And then the person's house I just cleared. That's all good. So we're good to go with that. Sorry about the cameras. We are seriously here. We were here at 3 hours ago with it, ready to go. Okay, so time travel. This is what we're gonna do. I am going to have you guys tonight do a meditation. We're gonna get grounded into our body first. I'm just gonna have you do a really quick grounding exercise so that we can make sure that you're in your body and not in someone else's, because one of the most important things about spiritual development and about time travel, or, well, let me kind of just explain this really quick. When I say time travel, what I mean is, well, time travel. People who do Reiki, people that do Reiki can use what's called a distance symbol. So when I got attuned to Reiki 2, I started using what's called the distance symbol. And when I was 7 years old, I used to go to sleep every night, or felt like every night, thinking back, maybe that's one of my stories. But I would go to sleep and I would be like crying. And I remember looking up at the corner of the room, and I would feel like some sort of comfort. So I was in Reiki class, this is like 7 years ago, and we were getting taught the distance symbol, and we were supposed to have the distance symbol take us to a time in our childhood when we needed healing. And I hadn't thought about that like forever. So I do my distance symbol, I'm like tracing it on the paper, and I'm like saying the name that's like really hard to say. And then next thing I know, I'm up in the corner of my room and I'm staring down at my 7-year-old self crying, listening to Total Eclipse of the Heart on my little wood clock radio. And I remember thinking like, whoa, that's a trip. And I was like supposed to send myself healing. Of course, I thought I was making something up. I didn't believe it, blah, 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 blah. Just like we never believe what we're seeing or feeling when we do the meditation and spiritual stuff. So just very recently, maybe about a year ago, I was taken to that space again. And I kept hearing, what you were seeing when you were little is you now. It wasn't an angel. It wasn't a guide. It was actually you now, going back to heal 7-year-old Marissa. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. So right about then is when I started doing the, oh my God, the I am my I am attunement, or maybe it was about 2 years ago, the I am my I am attunement, and I started doing the it's buzzing in and out. And in that, let me do this, watch. And in doing the I am attunement and the shift in the planet, there we go. I just want to make sure that does not fall. Okay. That way I can have this here. Yay, perfect. There, now I can see what they're saying and I can talk. Okay, so when I do the I am my I am attunement, guys, what I'm tuning you into is like the hard drive right here, right above you, your higher self. It's like your higher self's brain. I'd say about 60 or 70% of the people that are here right now have that attunement, and other people don't. So if you were to right now say, I'm now my 3-year-old, you may be in a different body, or we have lots of different bodies. So if you're to go into your 3-year-old, you may end up in like a soul fragment. You may end up in a mental fragment. You may end up in someone else's body. You may end up somewhere completely different. So the key to this time traveling is remaining in our body, and then basically going through our subconscious mind to all the different stories, all the different memories, all the different holograms that we have in there that are storing information, that are triggering us to feel certain things. So let's say that, you know, you got your foot ran over by some kid named Dylan or something when you're a little kid. When you hear the name Dylan for the rest of your life, you're going to think of your foot getting run over, if that's one of the stories that you have stored in your brain, because we're these creatures of habit, and we're also like programmed creatures too. Funny story is Mariah, I'm going to call Mariah out for being a robot. Funny thing is, my mom yesterday, she was talking about my assistant, Mariah. She goes, there's just something about her. And I said, I know there is something, like when she gets nervous or whatever, it's almost like she checks out. But she's like her and Scott's up there, right? And Bill, if anybody's from Sirius, we went into the future this morning. We saw that Sirius is like AI, like artificial intelligence. But like, how do we not know that? How do we know that we're not artificial intelligence? You know, I mean, there's so much. I mean, think of it, the test tube babies and stuff being made right now. But I was thinking about so we're going to go into the future today too. So you're going to go into your future self, and Mariah was like a robot. And I was like water. So we're going to go into our future self, we're going to go into our past self, and we're going to go through the different layers of our body throughout this series, and I'm going to clear them and all that good stuff. Somebody's grandmother, let me just do grounding. So everyone go ahead and close your eyes. This grandmother. So close your eyes and go ahead and just imagine that your feet have little trumpets on them, like little funnels, but are upside down. And we're going to ask God, the guides, angels, all of our teachers, to come in around everyone at their home, as well as this place, and to block all the energies between upstairs and downstairs. There we go. There's an energetic party going on upstairs. You go, girls. There we go. And then as you imagine these funnels, these little trumpets on the bottom of your feet, I want you to actually take your awareness down there and actually feel what your feet feel like. And actually, if you can, put them up against the ground, like mine are on the ground. And if you're not barefoot, that's okay. But just actually kind of like put your toes on the ground and actually like feel what it feels like to have your feet on the ground. When you actually like think about it, it's kind of a trip. So bring all of your attention down there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to release any blocks from anybody that cannot ground themselves into the new earth, into the 5th dimensional earth. There we go. And we're just going to ask that everybody's conscious awareness be brought up to the 5th dimension. There we go. From directly above you, a stream of light that may look like liquid, can look like anything, a laser, air, stream of light directly from your original creator self. And your higher self is going to come down, stream through you, and begin to fill your entire body with light. Remove any implants. There we go. And as your entire body is being filled with light, just feel as your feet pull 5D earth energy, unconditional love and light in through your feet, filling up your entire body. So you're getting light from both directions. And in this, any 4th dimensional fragments, any emotions, feelings, attachments, entities, fallen angels, fairies, gnomes, elementals, devas, even the Elohim. Just ask that all of those just fade away into the 4th dimension, making you your light body. We're now placing the attunement into each individual now, giving each of you the ability to command with I am into any state of being that you have within you. There we go. So in your mind, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am. One more time. I am, I am, I am. And as we place this sphere of energy upon each of you, we'll drop down through your crown, down into the solar plexus. And this is where your attunement will reside for the time being. There we go. So now I want you to imagine that your conscious awareness is in the center of that sphere, in the center of your solar plexus, and it may feel real busy. You may feel like there's just a lot of energy everywhere. And that's because there is. But in your mind, I want you to say, higher self, send me something or send something to surround me that will clear my space. Nothing ritualistic. Ritual is 4th dimension. You don't need ritual anymore. just a command. So, hey, higher self, I need to clear this room. Can you send something down to do that? Thanks. And then just imagine whatever you want to imagine. And imagine this and all the space around you just getting cleared. There you go. Good job, guys. Perfect. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're like, what the heck is she talking about? It's okay. I'm just keeping your minds busy while I do the attunement, really. Making sure everyone's attuned. There we go. Perfect. So from behind you, your real self is going to walk up behind you. And as they walk up behind you, it's as if they have a magnet within them. They're going to pull your I am into them. So it's like you're going to go back into them. And in front of you, you will see your human self, or you can imagine your human self just kind of sitting there. And you don't have to be able to see anything. I'm just taking you through the motions of what you're going to be learning through the class so that I can clear all the blocks, because it took me 5 years to get out into myself that was standing behind me. And it was by complete accident. There we go. Perfect. So if you're ever feeling really emotional, you can actually just say, I am, I am, I am. Pull yourself into your I am. And then just ask your real self to come in. And then just wait, and you'll start to feel yourself kind of pulled into them. And then say, I am now whole. I am now whole. Show me what that feels like. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Cool. So you can bring your conscious awareness back into this reality, into this room. The fourth dimension did not want us to leave the fourth dimension. And let me explain. Fourth dimension is spirits, earthbounds, entities, demons, fallen angels, the whole like movie. And that movie is basically a projection of our consciousness. And it's a movie that we chose to live in, pretty much. And in choosing to live in this movie, we chose a part, we chose a role, we chose a family, we chose beliefs, we chose ideas, we chose all of the stuff that we are experiencing in this lifetime. And it sucks because a lot of us chose some pretty like crappy circumstances, you know. But if you can start to realize that now, being able to leave that movie and take a step back and be like, oh, okay, I'm just watching a movie. I can change this. It's like super empowering, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I can actually change my life. I can actually remove the poverty contracts I have. I can actually, because I get so many people every day like that'll write to me and be like, I went to a medium and they said that I had this and they said that I had that wrong with me and this and that. How do I get rid of it? Because we feel like we have all this stuff that we can't get rid of. And now just using exactly what I just told you, the I am, pulling yourself into a sphere right here. And then just allowing yourself to go a little bit up into your heart and then allow your real self to pull you into them. And then you're back there. You're pulling yourself into basically the biggest piece of you in this reality that you can get into. And from there, that's when you can start working with getting rid of subconscious belief patterns and all that, and I'll explain how throughout this series. Let me go to chat. Isabel, are there any questions here? And also, Janice is probably upstairs representing the people upstairs. If there's no questions, I will just go on because I'm going to draw with my drawings.
There's no questions that I've seen.
Okay. What is it?
There are not any questions. Again.
Cool, perfect. Because everything's been so confusing so far, you can't even come up with a question. So and it'll all click in just a few minutes. So who here has had like a future premonition actually come true? If so, hit like 1 or something. Yeah, you did. Everyone got attuned. 1, 1, 1 came true, came true, came true. Lots of psychics here. Like, seriously, think about it. Like, how do we see the future? It's because it's already made. It's because it already happened. And what the guides have said is, and they told us this very recently, is that our present time is actually in like a 2 to 3 day lag time. So right now, you just did a meditation, you grounded yourself into your physical body. But if you say, where am I? Show me where I am, you will likely not be in your body. So actually, let's try that actually. Yeah, dreams, but dreams a lot. Show me where I am. I'm like somewhere over there. I don't know where I am. Is anybody somewhere else other than their body, or is everybody in their body completely right now? Isn't that interesting, Julia? Yeah, somewhere else. Somewhere else. Yeah, so what I found out, what was funny, and this was like totally by accident. Maggie, that's awesome, cool. Julia. So it all depends. It all depends. And is some people are going to be in the like a couple days ahead of time. And the guide said that that's the way that guardian angels, which is guardian angels and guides, that's how they like save our butt from getting hit by a bus or like something like that, or why we can't find our keys, or who knows, the reason why we started late tonight, maybe because of something, like maybe saved somebody from leaving at a certain time or something like that. Because I mean, it's like, hello, it was working perfectly and then it wasn't. But anyway, so the point is that we're like living in lag time. So the future has already happened, basically, if you look at it from a soul level, and that's why we can tell the future. But the guide said the whole reason why the Bible said like no prophecy, no prophecy, no prophecy, was because what you're doing when you do prophecy, what most psychics are doing is they're going into the movie and they're telling you what's going to happen in the movie. So what's happening is you're actually staying in the 4th dimension. You're not allowing yourself to ascend into the 5th dimension where you can create any reality that you want to. So the whole key here in this class is breaking you guys out of like the every day I get, am I on my path? Am I on my path? Am I on my path? There's no way to not be on your path. It's like impossible to not be on your path, because if you're in the 4th dimension, you're literally just like going like, okay, I'm going no matter what, I'm going, and you're just bumping and going. There's no way to really go off your path. And if you do, it's like redirecting, it just leads you right back. You go through this bumpy road and then you're right back where you started. So that's why you guys go in these like circular motions, and then you say, but I want something more, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because you get stuck in these cycles, basically. So by doing the exercise I'm going to teach you guys tonight, you guys are going to be able to go back and release the stories and release the cycles. So if you learn nothing else from the entire course, at least you're going to be able to do that, because one of the things that like truly irritates me is that I attract people who like need me, because I need to be needed. It drives me absolutely insane. And I caught myself doing it a little bit ago, like a while back, like about a month ago or something, and I was like, oh, why am I doing this? And then I complain about it, that everybody needs me, everybody wants me, a piece of me, and but that's like my ego going, but I'm so needed. So you have to take a look at your cycles and your patterns and stuff that we do, and ask yourself, what am I getting out of this? Like I was talking to a girl today who's like, I can't leave my relationship. But out of it, she's getting taken care of. Out of it, she's getting like a whole bunch of stuff. So she's complaining about not being able to leave, but at the same time, she doesn't want to leave, or she's getting a lot of benefit out of it. So what she could do in that circumstance is go back and ask her higher self to take her back to the time where that cycle where she needed to depend on somebody could be removed completely, So In fact, that's what we should write down next. I need you to write down 3 patterns to break too. Ooh, that's a good one. I've got like 15 patterns I could break. Why do you have that look on your face? Oh, I know. Marla's like, I could list them. I'm actually going to run to the bathroom. But yeah, write down 3 patterns that you want to break too, and we'll go ahead and break those. That'll be your bonus for being patient and waiting for me for 25 minutes to start class. I'm still like irritated at the fact that the cameras broke last minute. Okay, let me run to the restroom really quick because I didn't do that, and I will be right back. This looks better. Let's see. Darkness. Oh, that's actually not bad. Well, it's still light out. I'm going to do that so it doesn't shine on the, yeah, total loops, Anna. Can you get the things you need to get there faster? Yes. It's total GPS. Yes, Laura, it's GPS. The people that are in your body, do you mind if I tap into your energy to see why you're still in your body? Ah, interesting. I just heard those that were still in their body are those that have began to incorporate their higher self into like their everyday living. Interesting. Oh, because I pulled you guys into your real self. Okay, so you guys went in from one chakra. The people that were outside looking in went in through a different chakra. Ah, too confusing. I just heard them go, well, which one's better? Who knows? Hold on. Mariah, my robot. I love my little robot. Yeah, she's Mariah's like sitting in the dark. Mariah, you're weird. We're all weird. We're all weird. Let me just rephrase that. Anyways, okay, so here we go. you guys know how I talk about the 12-story building like all the time? Well, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the 7-story building, okay? So let's see how I can do this. So I want you guys to do, if you know how to muscle test, I'm going to have you guys muscle test this. If you don't know how to muscle test, and maybe you know how to use like a pendulum or something, then maybe use a pendulum. You can actually, this person is very funny looking. You got a tiny little head and a big body. There we go. Okay. So let me pick one person here. Let's see here. Who is this right here that looks so studious? And who is this right here? I just lost you. Gallery view. Okay, Susan, can I tune into your energy? Hi, can I tune into your energy? All right, so this is Susan. And I'll choose random people to do this with, okay? So we've got Susan right here. That's your light body, okay? And that is basically like your template that you have chosen to go live inside of. So you're God, and you say, okay, I'm gonna create a game character. And that game character is, first it's gonna start as just a template, okay? So think of like a mannequin. This is, let's see what the guides want me to use. Okay, so they're saying, think of like an avatar, okay? So you're gonna build a body. Just like when we get those games or whatever, and we're like, oh, I want her to have blonde hair, I want her to have bigger lips, whatever. So we choose this light body. This light body has chakras. So we have our first chakra kind of points down like that. That's the root. Gosh, none of these pens work. Note to self. Note to self. Pens that work would be nice. Root chakra kind of points down there. So it's root. Orange, yellow, green. I've got a crown up here. Okay, so that's our light body basically. So if you say right now, Susan and anyone else, I am now my light body. Show me what that feels like. If it shifts you, hit 1. Cool. Cool. Awesome. That was my question. I wanted to know if the light body was different than our real self, and it is. So I'm channeling a lot of this stuff. So I had a suspicion. So anyway, so our light body is basically our entire universe is in here, pretty much. Okay, but here's our light body, and what we do is that light body never leaves the other side. So this is over here. This is in the 7th dimension. And that 7D light body decides what basically creates a whole bunch of souls. And then those souls go, and so okay, Susan, we'll do Susan, it's easier. Susan, you started 83,146.93 years ago. That's a lot. You're old, dude. You need Botox. That's really old. So your light body is that old, okay? So you chose that long ago to go and experience life, okay? So you created a clone of yourself, and that clone would be your soul, okay? So your soul is then created, and that soul goes, and that soul starts off down here at the very bottom of the root chakra, and let's see, here's Earth. So Earth is right here, and you say, I'm gonna go play this game called Earth, but you went to Venus first. Interesting. Interesting. You went to Venus first? I'm not even gonna go there and get all off track with that. I could go on forever with it. So there's the planet, Earth. So you chose to come live down here, and Earth, up till about, what, 2,000 years ago, was totally like I mean, it still was totally like primitive, like people killing people. We still are. But when you chose, your I am was up there, chose to come live down here, your soul started out as like a level 1 soul. And as we learn and as we grow, just like with a video game, you learn lessons and you develop more and you grow more. And so it seems like, let's see, so level 1, you are a level 1 soul, which means you are either an animal or a plant. Interesting. For about 19,126 years, 0.74. I love the 0.74, like that actually makes freaking sense. So you're a level 1 soul for that long. And then you moved to becoming a level 2 soul. And a level 2 soul, you then became what they're saying is like an elemental energy. So like a fairy or a gnome. So your consciousness then decided, I'm going to go down and I'm going to create a planet, or I'm going to keep, and they're actually saying that everybody goes through this cycle. Like actually Bill, when we did the book, The Soul's Journey, he was actually a rock for like 1,000,000 years. I was like, wow, that's very advantageous of you to, remain a rock for 1,000,000 years. So you actually got through there pretty quick, Susan, 19,000 years as opposed to 1,000,000 years as a rock. And what's funny is his last name is Gladstone. Okay, so level 1 soul for 19,000 years, and then you move on to a level 2 soul, which is right here. And that level 2 soul looks like you're only that for about 3,000 years. So those gnomes and those fairies that are around us, if they're real, are actually ascending beings. They're part of the earth, and they're here to take care of the plants and take care of the animals and take care of things energetically. Those, when people are very emotional people, when you're in your emotional body, you dip down to this, and that's what tunes you into all the fairies and stuff like that. And that's why fairies drive me nuts, because usually they're not real fairies, but they drive me crazy. Anyway, the 3rd level soul. Let's see, you were at that for 9,000. Really? Even? Okay. Oh, 1,6. Sorry. 9,116. That's interesting. So that's how long you were that. But what they're saying is that all of us basically have the same from here, here, and here, if we're part of the same soul group. And they said everybody here tonight is part of the same soul group. So we're all part of the same soul grouping. So up to about here, we're all like kind of like the same thing as far as us evolving and growing. Because when we get to become a level 3 soul, and we get up here, this is when we become a creator soul. And that's also our master guide. It's kind of confusing, but it'll make sense by the end, I promise. Okay, so just think you are living life. So like say right now, everybody here, every single person here that is on this call and upstairs, there's a few people that are right here, like Mariah, our robot friend over here, is like a level 5 soul. But everybody here is like level 4 souls. There's some people actually that are level 5 and level 6, but there's only a few. Most people, and they're known as, I don't know if you guys have heard the term indigos, indigo kids. And their level 4s are basically people who create their own reality with their thoughts. We create our own world with our thoughts, and we have super high ups, super low lows, a lot of drug addicts, a lot of alcoholics, a lot of OCD, ADD, bipolar. We think that we're like insane. I heard insane in the membrane. Insane, got no brain. So basically the level 4 souls that's most people on the planet right now. There we go, I'm back. Okay, so creator soul is where the planet is at right now. And most people are at that, but let's see, everybody, actually no, not everybody has the same exact, everyone has the same exact from here down. Oh, so that's just you, Susan. That's you right there. Everybody here, if we're from the same soul group, has the same this, but different this stuff. That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. So when they talk about the kids that are rainbow kids, the rainbow kids when they're born, they're right here. That's a level 6 soul. So if you look at each one of those levels as hard drives and you look at them as having information, then it turns a lot different than just like a man with dots on him and circles and weird little cones. It's basically look at it as every life that you live is stored in your DNA, it's stored in your soul, it's stored in your light body. Okay, so all the information that you have ever had, ever done is stored inside of your light body, and everybody has their own light body. So if you can learn to tune into your light body, you can learn to command things out of it. You can say anything that is keeping me from, anything that's keeping me in poverty, it needs to go away. And we're gonna learn how to release all of that stuff so that you can start creating the life that you want. Because if we're creator souls, we're creating some pretty crappy lives sometimes. Some of us are creating some pretty crappy lives. Ask if you're an indigo, or ask if you're a level 5 or level 6. You can muscle test. You can, and then after you get the answer, just ask your higher self. Say, calling in my higher self into my heart, and imagine that your higher self is a ball of white light in the center of your heart. And then say, higher self, show me yes. And then higher self, show me no. And just see how it feels. Or you can say, what's a yes feel like, or what's a no feel like, or what's a yes look like, or what's a no look like, and kind of get a feeling for what a yes and a no is. And then just go in and ask, say, am I an indigo? If you get a no, then no. You might be a crystal or a rainbow, or whatever. The labels bug me, that's why I don't use them a lot, but the guides spit that out. So that's, I guess it was important. Because the labels, I feel like when we don't know who we are, especially in the spiritual community, when we don't know who we are, we'll grasp onto anything. Oh, I used to be a witch. Oh, I was burned at the stake. Oh, yeah. And then we're like looking up everything about witches and getting burned at the stake. And or like someone's like, oh, your guide is this. Oh, and they're like looking up everything about that guide. And it's, we need to focus on the fact that we are whatever we want to be right now. And we're just basically sitting here doing loops because we think that we have to. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Indigo with sparkles. Well, you're indigo bling then. That's what it's called. Just kidding. So here's the throat. This is what many call the crystals. Rainbow kids, crystal kids, and then the indigo kids. And then those are probably just you baby boomers. I'm curious to see if the baby boomers were the ones that were still in their body, because I was told that the ones that were still in their body were in the solar plexus, and the ones that were not in their body were in the heart. So that's a light body, and that's where you guys are going to kind of learn to navigate through. But we're going to navigate through just yours, not your soul groups. So when we do the meditation, I'm going to take you guys into your light body. You guys are going to meet your master guide, which is also, your master guide is technically you over here on the soul plane. Okay, so the soul plane's right here. And you're going to meet your master guide. Your master guide, we're going to work with them. You've got 3 travel buddies. You've got your master guide, your guardian angel, and then you've got your future self. So it's like kind of like Ghost of Christmas Past, Ghost of Christmas Future, and the present or whatever. So in this course, we're going to do the 3 different travel buddies. Your master guide is the one that helped you plan this life. So instead of looking at this as a body, I want you guys to just kind of look at it like your consciousness, your I am, is actually you. So you are over there, and that's the soul plane. Okay, so forget about the light body. The light body is just to show how ancient we are, really. But the clone of you that you create is your soul, and your soul projects itself onto the earth, okay, into a human. Yeah. So your soul is projecting into that human and experiencing a human reality. So the reason why I drew this kind of confusing chart is so that you could see all the different like dimensions of reality that you are, and then to also see that I want you guys to do this. I am now my creator soul. Show me what that feels like. And then do I am now my soul. Show me what that feels like. I don't know if this is permanent. It seems kind of morbid to draw. Our spirit is black. I am now my spirit. Show me what that feels like. That wiggly line that I just drew. Yeah, the names, Isabel, are like someone made them up, and that's why I don't like to use them, because I don't feel like they're right. I feel like they're like, I don't know. I don't feel like they're right. I feel like maybe like Doreen Virtue made one up, and then like, you know, someone else made one up, and then everyone, oh, I'll call it that, and then we'll build on that. So I'm down with the levels. I'm not down with the names as much. So anyways, but if it resonates, it resonates. So here's the spirit, okay? This is this energy coming down all the way from source, all the way up here. You are actually source. So you're actually this energy up here experiencing all of your creations. So everything. And when you can become your spirit, coupled with your I am, you can go anywhere within all of this. So as you're saying, I am now this, I am now that, you're actually traveling through kind of like your little spirit highway, and you are your I am, you're your God self. And by doing that, you can see that you're not any one of these things, you're all of them. And what's interesting is, just like I said, you know, you're a certain level, you are a certain level, but if you have the ability to get into your light body, technically you're all the levels. It's just where are you living your life from. So that's another reason why they wanted to, why they wanted to show the levels, because you can say, like, okay, let's do this. A situation that you're dealing with right now. Think of that situation. And say, I now represent that situation. Show me what it feels like, or show me the energy, or whatever. And then say, I am now that situation, but from the 7th level of my light body. Show me what it looks like, or show me what it feels like. It's like way off in the distance, like way, 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 way. Does anybody want to share what they felt when they did that? Because they're not feelers. It's fine. I don't feel any shift in mine. That's why I'm asking people. Because the people that aren't feeling shifts are people, a lot of the times I'm a channeler, so I'm not ever in my body. So there you go. So the people that feel are the ones that are going to kind of like feel that shift. When I'm teaching you guys this now, but when you're trying it at home by yourself, you will feel a shift, but it may just be like in your mind. Like you may just go, wow, my mind just kind of slowed down a little bit, or my thoughts just sped up, or you may think of a song in your head, or you may think of a color or see something. So some people may not feel a shift at all. Some people may feel a huge shift. Some people may just be so confused that they have no idea, that they're like, what? Hold on, what am I supposed to feel? And basically, the guides are wanting people to be a little bit confused because they don't want you to overthink what we're about to do. But they're trying to show us kind of like the progression of, as we ascend as souls that are created by our creator soul, as we ascend through the different levels, we gain more and more and more and more knowledge. We become more and more and more wise. And if we can attune ourselves to our entire light body, which is what we're doing throughout this course, you will have the ability to access anything in the entire light body rather than just accessing this, which is like your human with your soul projecting through it, which is most spirituality. This is the fourth dimension, okay? So if you're lucky, you find an angel, you get a guide, and you get a teacher that are gonna lead you through the depths of the fourth dimension. You're gonna get attacked by spirits and have earthbounds and entities, and you're gonna have belief patterns from past lives that affect you. You were a nun in a past life, so you think money's evil, so now you're not gonna make money in this lifetime. That's all fourth dimensional stuff. But by being able to pull your conscious awareness out of the fourth dimension and into a higher aspect of self, you can literally change your life. Like you guys, everybody that's here tonight is going to notice a difference in your life, whether it be the smallest little thing or something huge, from the meditation that we're going to do. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know how to say your name. Darker markers. I know. I'm trying to. Well, I'll take a picture and zoom in on it. But right now, what I'm going to do is we're going to do the meditation so that I can take you guys through it. And we're going to erase these stories. We're going to erase everything. And once you're in meditation, you'll actually feel shifts and you'll feel changes, because a lot of you are really, really, really in desperate need of a healing. So sometimes if you're not feeling anything, it's because you have a lot of energy around you, or you have a lot of other people's emotions and feelings around you. Are all the people that aren't feeling empaths, or would you say that you're not an empath? Empath, okay. So try this. Oh my God, look at all the empaths. Oh my God. That's crazy. Yeah, I just heard the guides, they were like, it's because they're empaths. Okay, so let's try this. Let's try this, okay? So I want you to close your eyes, everybody, even you crazy empaths. I'm calling you crazy empaths because I'm one too. Close your eyes, okay? And I want you to imagine, I want you to say, I am now me and only me. And I want you to pull all of your consciousness, all of your awareness into either the center of your head or the center of your chest, whatever feels most natural. And as you call back your conscious awareness back into your heart or your head, neither one is better or worse, just is. I want you to imagine that there's a disc of light coming up from beneath you, and this disc of light is spinning so fast, it's going to pass through everything but in through the floor, and when it hits you, it's going to start to raise you up. So in your mind, you're just going to allow this disc of light that I'm sending in to raise you up above the emotional planes. There we go. And as you rise up, you'll start to feel lighter and lighter. And once you've left the emotional planes, that disc of light is going to start to pass through you, through your feet, through your legs. It's going to start spinning all of the energy that does not belong to you off of you. So anything that was not originally yours, your husband's energy, your kid's energy, your wife's energy, your boss's energy, anything that is not yours, that was not originally yours, will be sent to the void and dissolved completely, sent back to the light. So just allow for this spinning disc to go up through your legs, your knees. There we go. all the way up through your legs and your root chakra. As this is passing through you, I want you to say, show me a table in front of me, with your eyes closed, obviously. So in your imagination, you're going to say, show me a table, so any kind of table. And on that table, there's a box, a glass box. As I continue to clear you with this disc of light, I want you to kind of try something. Say, any energy that belongs to my husband or my wife or my boss or whomever, get in the box now. And just notice what you notice. Just imagine that there's maybe like golf balls in there, or just whatever you want to imagine is now in that box, but it's no longer in you. If you see something freaky or scary, it's just your mind's way of reading the energy. Don't worry. And then what you're going to do is say, clear that box, and that disc of light's going to fly over like a boomerang and go whoosh, clear the box, and it's going to come right back to you. And then it's going to continue to move up through you, and now say someone else's name or someone else. Or you can just say, higher self, whoever's energy is consuming me the most, get in the box. And then just imagine whatever you imagine. A couple of you, 3 of you just dropped down because you got annoyed that the person was in your field. So when you drop down and you stop seeing stuff, say, take me back up to where I was. And actually imagine going back up. There you go. One of you just went back up. Good job. That's why I like the elevator, because I'm like, take me back up. There we go. One more of you. There we go. Okay. Show me who's affecting my energy the most. All of their energy, get in the box. And then just in your mind, just say, clear that box. The disc's going to fly through, totally dissolve everything in the box, and come right back to you. And this should be something that's fairly easy to visualize. I mean, it's something that they actually use, like in, not hypnosis, I saw a psychologist actually talking about it at one point. It was something very similar, where you're actually going through your subconscious mind right now, clearing out energies, and clearing out entities, and clearing out things just by simply visualizing this box and cleaning this box. And there's no way to be wrong or right. It just is. And I'm helping to clear it. So that spinning thing is not me, but that's the energy that I'm sending through to everyone. Continue to allow the disc to go all the way up through you, and then what you can say is anything from any other lifetime that is affecting my ability to feel this shift, or feel the shift that we were doing where I am now my light body, or I am now this, get in the box. Oh my God, that's so funny. It's like blong, all this stuff, the box was like smashed. It's like, I'm just going to ask that everybody's past life energies, any karmic issues, soul ties, soul bindings, any agreements with any beings or entities be dissolved and discreated now, uncreated. They no longer exist. There we go. And then continue all the way up, and the disc leaves your head, and you're a little bit more clear. So you can do that. When I start getting like really frustrated, I'll bring in that disc from the center of the, kind of the center of the earth, and I'll just say, I'm calling in my spinning disc, and then it starts spinning underneath me. It comes in, stops underneath my feet, and it raises me up above the emotional fields. Takes me out of my emotional body, because the emotional body is not pretty. And then once it's taken me up above the emotional level, then I allow it to start spinning through me, kind of like a little sifter. And then I just start saying like, okay, whoever's energy is here, get in the box. And then I say dissolve it, it goes away, I start to feel a little bit lighter. And then the disc continues to go up. I say, okay, any of Jeff's energy or any of Jeff's work energy or whatever. So was that, it's stuck in your third eye? Let me see, Anna. So say whatever's stuck, whatever is causing it to be stuck in my third eye, get in the box. And then tell me what you see. There you go. Your husband, oh, is that a bad, oh, your husband's laughing at you in the box? You're getting pulled to the right, Jessica? That's actually normal. The right is actually, let's see here. So the right is actually, well, I guess it all depends on which right we're talking about. Jessica, say anything that's for my highest and best good is on, and then which side do you say, the right or the left? Anything that's for my highest and best good is on right or left? Left, okay. So some of us, all of us, we have a mirror right here down the middle of us, okay? So we're experiencing a reality. The astral plane is over here, or, you know, depending on which side we're looking at it from. And everything that's in that mirror is a projection or a reflection of that astral plane. So a lot of times when you say where's source and you feel like it's up to like your right to like your 2 o'clock, the thing that's going to be right across from it is like anti-source, because that's the reflection of it, okay? So this is like a mirror over here almost. So I had a healing a few weeks ago and I was literally getting like yanked like into the mirror. It was the weirdest thing. I kept like, my head kept twitching, and it's like my consciousness wanted me, or was, my consciousness was getting pulled into the mirror. It was the weirdest thing ever. I was like flopping and shaking and stuff. So if you're starting to get pulled to the right or the left, regardless of whether you know whether it's good or bad, just say anything that's causing me to get pulled, get in the box. And then say clear. See, the awesome thing about this is it's so much easier than how it even used to be like a few years ago, when we used to have to do Reiki symbols, or we'd have to like run energy to it, or we'd have to call in an angel, or call which angel covers entities and this and that. Oh, hold on, let me look it up. Or, you know, like what does this and what does that? Now it's just like, you don't have to be ritualistic about it. You can just say, clear it, and it's gone. It's gone, it's done. But not everybody can do that, because not everybody is in tune with their I am, because they're commanding from like their emotional body. So like if you're, that's the reason why, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Carla, for bringing up that some people weren't feeling a shift, because I never feel a shift, and now I know why. We just channeled that. That is actually something that I need to remember to, emotional body. I just need to remember that. Like I said, I'm going to be channeling like new stuff for this during the classes. It's always a perfect time to channel new stuff, because everybody's here, you guys are interested, so it's like, oh, sweet. So yeah, so if you get stuck in your emotional body, that's a lot of the times when we feel stuck. And basically, we become our emotional body when we're there, and the emotional body is a basket case. So let me ask a way to get out of the emotional body very easily instead of having to do that whole thing. Oh, okay. Those of you that weren't feeling a shift, now try it. I am my emotional body. Or I'm sorry, I am my light, not an emotional body. I am my light body. Show me what that feels like. Do you feel a shift now? Nice. Nice. Yes, this is awesome. Someone says, so what's Reiki good for now? That is a very good question. Of course you don't, Shelly. Shelly is always no. Shelly refuses to admit that she has these abilities. Shelly, make sure you're in your body. Remember, you were in your son's body before? Deborah, hey. Reiki is a spiritual practice, and Reiki is a spiritual practice of self-awareness. Energy healing is only one aspect of Reiki, and the reason why I love Reiki is that it holds you accountable for your thoughts and your actions and your feelings and your emotions and all of that, and allows you to clear that between you and people in your life. So Reiki isn't just like energy healing. It's not just like energy medicine. I would say now that we can just kind of command anything, energy medicine, running energy, stuff like that isn't necessarily like as important. It feels good. Like if you run energy into someone, they're like, oh, it feels good, like a massage. But commanding your state, commanding other state is now, to me, that's all I do. And that's how I teach Reiki now. So when I attune you guys to Reiki, I'm actually giving you guys the attunements that you're getting tonight. So you'll notice a shift from the beginning of class to the end of class, how easily you're able, not from the beginning of today, but the beginning of now to the end of the series, how easy it will be to command yourself into different spaces, different places, clear this, clear that. Like when Jeff comes in the house and he's all like, meh, 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 and then I'm like, meh, 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 meh. I'll just say like, okay, I am now the me that, I'm now me 5 minutes before I started getting irritated. And I'll be like, show me what that feels like. And I'll be like, oh, whatever it was, it's gone, you know, and then I'll be able to kind of stay in that state rather than let the meh, 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 and nit, 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 you know, and then we start getting in an argument, which is just dumb, you know. That's cool, Cheryl. Yeah, you want to know why? Because the visions, because they're acting as a battery. So the two of you coming together is raising you up to a higher level. So you need to ask yourself, those of you that want to see, you need to ask yourself, which level of my light body do I need to be on in order to see? So if you're like down here, that's where all the yucky stuff is, you're likely not going to be able to see. But if you're getting Reiki, it's lifting you up to a higher state of consciousness. So your higher self is going to allow you to see there. No one wants to be scared, you know, so your higher self's going to make sure that you're not scared. And if you're down at kind of like a emotional blob of energy, you're not going to be able to see anything because you're not going to see anything good. And if you do see something good, it's probably going to be fake. So fast way to get out of the emotional body. Thank you. Man, there's no fast way to get out of the emotional body? Come on, someone come in. Okay, fine. They're like, we don't want a bunch of lazy people. Okay. That's funny. Fast way to get out of the emotional body. I just keep hearing, I am in any body other than the emotional body now. Okay, that's what it is. I am free from my emotional body now. And then literally just rise up out of it. Or I am above the emotional plane. Just say, I'm above the emotional plane. And just literally imagine it below you. And then you can just say, clear that. It'll clear it, and then you'll go back down into your emotional body. They're saying that our emotional body is us. So our emotional body, or what's Eckhart Tolle call it, the pain body. Our emotional body is what makes us human. So we can rise up and down through the emotional body, but we can't leave it. That's really interesting. That's super interesting. So we can never leave it? He said, nope. The emotional body, the etheric body, and the physical body are all merged as one in this incarnation. For what you must understand is a spirit is a roaming emotional body. A spirit is one that is trapped in a lower emotional state. For there is nothing wrong with emotions as long as you are at a higher state of consciousness. Therefore, in joy, peace, gratitude. And this is why in Christianity they say to ask for forgiveness, because forgiveness, compassion are higher states of consciousness than fear and anger. So when you begin your meditations, when you begin your prayers, when you begin anything in any day, showing gratitude to anything will bring you into a higher state of consciousness. Therefore, start you off on the right foot each day. So if you would like to, we invite you to each morning when you awake to find 3 things that you are grateful for. And then say, I am now the me that is most grateful for, and then whatever it is you're grateful for. And then ask to feel that energy. This will clear any negative energies away from you, because gratitude and compassion are two of the highest frequencies, higher than joy. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Yes, absolutely, Gia, the emotional body is responsible. The emotional body is responsible for anxiety attacks, because I want you guys to look at yourself as this. You're a ball of energy with, let's see how this works. Let's see, because I can do this without knocking myself out this time. It literally like took me out last time. I don't know who was here when I was doing a reading. And I like knocked myself out with this thing. Oh, I almost did it again. There we go. There we go. And I'll get some black markers between now and next week so we can have some nice charts. And I'm having some cool charts actually made, drawn. There we go. Okay. So you are just basically this. You're a ball of consciousness. And you have a little, just imagine this is like a little GoPro video camera on you, okay? And then source, awareness. So awareness is your bubble. And then that's your little GoPro video camera right there, this little pink camera. This is your little pink camera. And then that's your I am right there. This is your awareness bubble. And then that's your witness, okay? So next week, what we're gonna learn how to do is get into only your witness and learn how to become the witness of your own reality, your own life. Today was more about confusing the crap out of you, apparently, because I'm even confused. And the guides want us to have the attunement done, because the attunement, if you put too much thought into it, you're going to trap yourself in the astral plane. So they're like, it's all going to come together. In my head, I'm thinking, you guys are very confusing right now. They're saying, nope, it's all about understanding that we are infinite beings, and we're just one little being living in this entire light body, and that all of us pretty much are from that same light body. And within that, there's universes and worlds and planets and all of that stuff. So the fact that we have the ability to take our conscious awareness with our witness into any aspect of us now on planet Earth is absolutely amazing, because we used to be trapped in the movie and now we're not. But so many people are trapped in the past that they're still in the movie. So it's like, okay, wake up, wake up, wake up. Let's wake up. Let's go. Let's create a new reality. And that's basically what we're doing. So let's do this meditation. I'm going to do the full attunements on everyone. We're going to get rid of your stories, because the stories are what you get sucked into. Your stories are what you just keep looping around over and over and over. It's that drama that just will never leave your life, or those same people that you just keep attracting, or those same patterns that just keep making you do the same thing over and over and over and over. Someone said, what level do you need to be at in order to see if the level is higher than where I'm at now? Do we just say, yep, exactly. It's really kind of a trip, actually, to learn to just command, because when you just start commanding, it's like, wow, no wonder I couldn't find my soulmate. No wonder I couldn't find this, or no wonder I couldn't find that, because I was saying it, or I'm so stupid, or I'm so lame, or I'm so this, or I'm so that. So you'll start to realize just how powerful your words are, how powerful your thoughts are. And there we go, the light. Yeah, it's a little bit brighter now. Yeah, so you're gonna start to realize how much your thoughts actually matter, and they're actually gonna start to change you. In the third, I think it's the third class, we're gonna do manifestation of however much money you want to make. So you're going to go into the you that basically makes that amount of money. I'm going to release all the blocks, all the attachments that you have that are keeping you in any lifetime from manifesting that amount of money that you want and you need. because you should be able to manifest whatever you want, but we have certain beliefs and certain ideas about why we're not manifesting that, and that's why we're not. So it's pretty cool. Please. You can say please. I always say thank you. Commanding feels rude. So you're commanding, check this out, you're not commanding anyone. You're commanding your computer, okay? So that was the thing, that's the thing that they were talking about in next class is like, because we have a blueprint, or we have kind of like almost like a computer in us, okay? We're the person, we're within this programmed body that has programmed DNA, that has programmed everything. And we're projecting through it as a soul. And then we are also the witnessing our soul projecting through this human. So we're all these different layers. So when you're commanding, what you're commanding is your subconscious mind. So think of it as kind of commanding a computer, or like I command that this leave, or I command that leave. I had a hard time with commands with theta, because I took theta, and they say creator of all that is, or something, is creator, or I can't remember exactly what the terminology is, but they make you command God. And I was like, I can't do that. That feels really, really, really weird. I do not like it, and I'm not going to do it. But then you start getting more used to it, but you still feel really weird. We all need our bodies. So anyways, let me see here. Okay, so Isabel. Yes, past life can be released, 100%. Let me see if there's any other questions. Isabel, is there anything that you think I should answer prior to us starting this meditation? So I think it's time. I should leave the light on, huh? Like, this feels so weird to leave the light on during a meditation. Everybody's energy is already shifting so much, it's not even funny. The emotional stuff that's in the fourth dimension for a lot of people is like doing whatever it can to like pull your conscious awareness back down. So when you think of yourself as you, I don't want you to think of you as your human being. I want you to think of you as that little ball with that GoPro video camera and that lens of awareness, which is source awareness, God consciousness, and then that little camera is like your soul. Like it's like you're just witnessing, watching, learning, growing, and on the other side is your soul basically sitting there in a movie theater watching life through you. One thing I found interesting, what the guide shared with us the other day, is that there's just like the same movie going over and over and over and over, and that all of us just play different roles at different times, but it's the same movie every single time. And I was like, that's interesting. It's very interesting, very metaphysical. What was it they told us the other day about Atlantis or something? Really didn't sink, that we all came from the water or something like that. They said something about Atlantis. Can't remember what it was, but it was really cool. I'm gonna get some music on. So do you guys think that I'm gonna play this music, tell me if it sounds okay, and tell me, Isabel, if it's too close or too far from the computer. That's the wrong song. Sonia, that's so right. However, what if you could be a different actor in your favorite show every time? And what if, I don't know if you guys have seen the show, it's called Second Life, or it's where a girl creates a virtual reality where you can go and you can like jet ski and water ski and ski the Alps, jump off cliffs, and in this virtual reality, you actually feel like you're climbing mountains or like diving out of airplanes. And then you come back and it's literally like a minute later, but you felt like you were gone for 3 weeks. It's like a vacation that you can go on in this movie. And I think it's called Second Life. And she's trying to create like a world, I think, for her brother who's in a coma to live in or something. And something happens where they end up incarcerating her for like 365 days, but it only takes a minute. So they put her into this cell, and they decide they're going to sell this computer system to the jail system so they can put people in jail for life for only like a second or like a minute or something. It's really, really interesting. Other life, yeah. It's really, really interesting because you think that's what our soul is doing. Our soul is over there, and it's like, okay, I'm going to put my conscious awareness into this human being that's going to feel, it's going to be defensive, it's going to forget that it's me, and I'm going to be trapped in that role until I come back. And that's why Mariah and I were tripping out this morning, because I kept seeing, I've always seen beings from Sirius as being like transformers, kind of like robots, AIs. And I was telling her that I feel like people that are her age generation, a lot of them are like 5th and 6th level souls. I was like, I wonder if we're just AIs, or I wonder if we're just in a video game, and then we get trapped in here and we create all these stories about heaven and hell, and we start reincarnating over and over and over and over and over, and we just get lost within the story, within the story, within the story, within the story. And the guides were like, you've never been so right, and you've never been so right on about the way that reality is. And I was like, what? So I can't wait until we do our next channeling session about stuff, because I thought it was really, really interesting. Does it sound okay, Isabel? I know, Carla, no more loops, please. Carla, your soul's like, she just won't remember. Okay, so I'm going to call in my guide, Michael, and ask that Samuel step forward, my real self, my higher self, and we're going to ask that everybody's master guide, master teacher, step forward now in front of them and show themselves, whether it be through a feeling, a sense, a knowing. We ask that that master teacher, your first time-traveling buddy, walk up directly in front of you, and we ask that each individual be attuned or tuned so that if they're upside down or tipped to the side, that they be brought into a state of receiving their master teacher directly in front of them. There we go. We ask that master teacher send like heat waves or frequency waves, unconditional love toward each individual now. And that if that love is not received, we ask that all blocks to love be transmuted into light, and all beliefs and ideas of love not being deserved are now dissolved as well. There we go. Perfect. Good job, guys. So now taking a deep breath in through your nose, fill your chest as full as you can fill your chest, your lungs with the air, and then breathe out. Releasing out all the fears, any resentments, attachments, anything that you have holding you down, holding you back. We're going to release it tonight. We're going to tune you into your inner time traveler. I'm going to introduce you to your master guide. We're going to start to change your life now. Another deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. This time what we'd like for you to do is to imagine that your master guide is placing right in front of your face a shiny metallic ball of light. It can be any color. And around this metallic ball of light, there's mist. This mist, as you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, this mist becomes anything that your master guide needs it to be in order to connect with you clearly and communicate with you in your travels. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Your master guide and you begin to float up through the roof, out of the structure that you're in, whether it be a house or a building. As you float up, you begin to feel lighter, freer. Begin to leave the burdened mind that is your human mind behind. All your worries and stresses will be there waiting for you when you return. So just taking the time now to allow yourself to continue to rise up through a portal above you. It may be really, really high up, or it may just be right above your head. But as you pass through this portal, you realize that you're leaving this reality. You find yourself immersed in complete light or dark. You could be in space. Everybody's going to end up somewhere different. As you pass through this portal and you end up in this space, you realize that you're in a space that you existed prior to entering into the you that you are today. You're in a natural state of being, natural state of knowing. In front of you, a stairway magically appears. This stairway is spiraled. So you begin to walk up the stairs. You may or may not feel your master guide with you. But as you walk up these stairs, you notice that Earth just keeps getting smaller and smaller, if you can even see Earth. The reality that's beneath you is similar to looking down at the outside of a IMAX movie theater. When you're in the movie, it just feels so real, and then you leave and there's a completely different world, completely different reality outside. We ask that each individual and their master guide be taken up to the space in which this channel is. We will not say the level or the place, so that the minds do not get involved. And at this apex, at this meeting place, we meet at a place that is no place at all. It is everywhere and nothing all at the same time. It is like a platform in space. Looking back at the planet, way down beneath you, you realize just how small your life is from this standpoint. It is here that a door appears and you walk through this door. As you walk through this door, you walk into a reality where you can see, you can feel, you can hear. You have all of your senses. You may just get little flashes of your master guide because your master guide is technically you. And at this level, the two of you become one. Up in front of you, up a huge set of stairs, kind of like the Lincoln Monument. There's a bunch of stairs. At the very, very top is you. It's the real you. In your mind, you can say, show me what I look like, or show me the real me. The only thing that'll block you from seeing is your subconscious mind, beliefs, so you walk toward this being, this huge being that is you. They reach their hand down and they pick you up. And you're not even a fraction of the size of their hand. And in their hand, you sit as they raise you up higher and higher. You come into perfect alignment with the white light, unconditionally loving source. You come into perfect alignment with you. If you feel dizzy, it's okay. If you feel some anxiety, say, I release all energy that causes anxiety. This is your God self. This hand that you're imagining yourself in is the hand of God. This is the aspect of you that until you have this time traveling thing down, you can ask this aspect of you to help you in any part of your life. In your mind, you can say, I am now my real God self. Show me what it feels like. And the consciousness that you are will leave your human self and go into this huge being. Witnessing life through their eyes. Witnessing life from them. Looking down on yourself in their hand. Now in your hand, you can just imagine that you have a ball of light. You can imagine that you have a person. You can imagine whatever you want to imagine. There's a few of you. Let me just get you all the way up. There we go. Perfect. Good job. Some of you, this is a natural state of being in this layer self. So it doesn't feel extremely different because this is you. This is the real you. So the first story that you wrote down. So this ball of light now represents that story. And then just allow for that energy to change in your hand. And we now transmute and release this story, dissolving all cords and attachments to it, as well as the individuals that are attached to it, that keep us in our story. There we go. There we go. Perfect. And in your mind, you're just going to clear it. You don't necessarily have to say anything or feel anything. In your mind, you're just going to know that that story, it's not going to exist anymore, at least not in the form that it did up until today. From directly above you, beautiful, harmonious, angelic ball of light comes down, merges with the energy that's in your hand, and it dissolves, leaving nothing. I say that's calling forth the next story into my hand, into this hand of God. If you feel there's a couple of you that just had an interruption, say, I am my real God self again. Thank you. Say, my second story is now in the hand of God. There you go. Now you're going to clear this one. This one's going to be cleared with a humongous pyramid, triangle from the void. So just imagine that however you need to imagine it. Pyramid dropping down through this energy in your hand. There we go. Now this is now the third. Show me the third story that I wrote down. as energy or as a letter, or you can see it as a shape. In fact, say, show me a shape that represents the third story. And then from above, that same shape will come down and merge with it. And it will disappear completely as well. It's like one cancels out the other. From above you, you can feel another unconditionally loving source of energy. This unconditionally loving source of energy is unexplainable by words. Calling it unconditional even makes it conditional. It's the energy of the absolute, of the infinite, of the all. So as it drops down over your head in the form of a diamond, we'd like for you to accept or not accept these words. I am now the creator of my own life. I am free from fear on all levels of my reality. I will love my life. I will cherish my life, as well as my human self, soul, and divine mind. This diamond drops down through your head, down into the center of your head as your God self. And the brightest bright light you could ever possibly imagine comes streaming down through the top of your head into this diamond. And the facets of this diamond shoot out light more beautiful than you could ever possibly imagine as this diamond begins to spin. Your mind is where these cycles are. Your mind is what creates these cycles. So all you must do now to dissolve these cycles that you wrote down earlier is just say, show me in my mind a space where that cycle is stored. And when your attention is brought there, just ask to see what it looks like. So you may see a blob of energy, you may see a shadow, you may see a letter or a number. Just allow for this diamond light to absolve and completely transmute this cycle that you've created in your mind that sometimes follow us through hundreds of lifetimes. Now show me where the second cycle that I wrote down is within my mind, and show me what that looks like, or show me what that feels like. And again, you don't really need to see it, just the recognition that it's there. Maybe the consciousness being drawn towards the side of your head or the back. And then the visual of the diamond spinning and dissolving this pattern. And you may feel resistance. You may feel rapid heart rate. You may feel nervousness of releasing these patterns, because then you realize that your life is in your hands. Sometimes it's easier to believe it's not. From behind you, this source that's unexplainable, that dropped the diamond down, comes up behind you. And they drop a mirror in front of you. In your mind, if you would like to, you can say, show me myself and this energy in the mirror. And we'll hold the space with this channel's abilities, as well as everyone's in the groups, to accentuate your abilities so that you can actually see or feel or sense yourself in this state, as well as your source. So show me what I look like. Now that this attunement has been done, your ability to ask your God self to place you into any time and any place is really quite easy indeed. So what we'd like for you to do is to just imagine that that mirror in front of you is like a movie screen. And in your mind say, show me a time in my life that needs to be healed, that I don't even remember or I wouldn't even think of. Show me on that screen that needs to be healed. Once that you appears, say, I am the diamond light that lies within, and I now heal and dissolve all hurt, all pain, and all trauma from the me that stands before me. I am the diamond light that lies inside, and I now release all pain and trauma from the me. In front of me. If you don't see you, you may think of a number, maybe a 7-year-old or 4-year-old, or this could be a past life. Those of you that asked about past lives, you can say that you want all past life cleared. And from this state, all you have to do is just ask that it be cleared, and it will. If you have issues with weight, if you have issues with money, from this state of being, call forward the root of the issue. Calling forth the root of addiction. Calling forth the root of depression, my unhappiness, my relationship issues. And just allow yourself to see a version of you. It may be a you in a past life, it could be anything. I am the diamond light that lies inside, and I now dissolve all trauma and hurt from that me that experienced it. Just imagine light showering over that you. And if you were to look through all the dimensions that you're affecting right now, all the places, all the spaces unknown that you are affecting, you would be completely blown away. You're not just affecting this life, you're affecting every life you've lived. Past, present, future, and parallel. From this space, if you have issues with a relationship, you can say, I now ask that the hand of God or this diamond consciousness take me back to a time where my relationship with this person was good. Before it got bad. I ask that all the bad energies that lie ahead be dissolved. And that we be brought back to the peace that we once felt, because every relationship that you've had in other lifetimes. Now you place your hand before you and you ask that your consciousness jump back out into your hand and you see a you pop out of you, land in your hand. You allow your hand to move back down toward the reality that seems so far away. Placed you on a platform. You drop down through the portal, which you came through, and you start walking down the stairs, and that's where your master guide appears again. They walk down with you, down the long stairs. As you spiral back down into reality, you can feel it getting denser, but the knowingness that you have control over your reality is what you're going back into your life with. You walk through a door. Now you're out in space, out above reality. You and your master guide begin to drop down through a little portal and into the movie theater. You see Earth, You see the town you're in, you see the house. You and your master guide look at each other. They bid you adieu. You give them a hug. And you continue to drop down back into the reality where you live. But this time, you remember that this is a created reality and you can have whatever you want. It's not about other people. You create your reality. You attract all the actors into your life that you need. You are all creator souls. Drop down in through your crown, down into your body, very softly, very slowly. Ease back into your physical body. But this time, as you settle back into your body, you notice something in the center of your brain. It's a diamond. That diamond begins to drop down through your head, down through your throat, and it settles in just above your heart. You can place your hand over your high heart. I am, I am, I am. I am the divine spark that lies within inside this diamond. I am. Imagine that you're inside of it and continue to drop down into the heart. Once you're in the heart, you'll find yourself in your creation room where there's just a room with pure white. From this creation room, with this diamond consciousness, you can create the reality that you've always wanted. You don't have to go all the way up out of this reality in order to create. You can do this meditation again. But taking you there was what was necessary in order to attune you to such a high state of consciousness. Whether you were awake or asleep, it does not matter. This channel, we as your guides made sure that every single person, including those listening after, were attuned. We bless you, dear ones. We bless you. And we'll see you soon. So bringing your thoughts and awareness back to your physical body, and kind of start to wiggle your fingers and toes. But what we'd like for you to do right now is to just kind of feel what it feels like to be you. Feel what it feels like to have your body up against the bed or the chair that you're sitting in. And what we'd like for you to do is just say, I am now the me that is happier than I have ever experienced. Show me what that feels like energetically. So this is just a notch happier than you can ever remember. You're now that you. So it's you in the future, or you in another lifetime, or you in a parallel reality. I am now the me that's happier than I've ever been. Show me what that feels like energetically. And you may feel like sunbursts coming out of you, or I'm now the me that's more lucrative, or I'm now the me that's more motivated. In next week's class, we'll be taken into the future. We'll be shown some of the future while continuing to release the past. Today was crucial in this diamond heart meditation and receiving this attunement. Because it's not about the I am, as this channel believed it was. It's about the I am not. It's about the before the I am. It's about the space between the space, between the space. It's that space of, comes between when you say, what will I think of next? What's the very next thought that comes to mind? And between that, the gap, the space, that is you. That is you. We bless you, dear ones. And we wish you the most blessed, fun week of your life. Make it an amazing one. When things start to feel down, center yourself. I am now in my heart. Call down the diamond consciousness into the center of your mind, down into your heart. Imagine yourself inside that diamond, inside of your heart. And just say, come back, and call all of you back in. Just that alone will bring you into a resonance with something that not even this channel has experienced in the teachings in which we are bringing in. We are very excited indeed to see how each of you handles this new power in your life. Will you sabotage it? If so, you can call forth any energies that would cause you to sabotage and dissolve them. You can say, I now ask the hand of God to dissolve them all. Imagine a hand coming down, dissolving them, and then don't sabotage yourself. We bless you. We bid you a good night. Bringing all your awareness back to the room. Go ahead and journal about what you saw or felt. Say about 30% of you stayed conscious. The other 70%, I had to kind of yank up there and go, hey, get up here. You're kind of sleeping or unconscious. Everybody received their attunement. I went out when they called the mirror in. I don't remember anything past that point until just now, kind of coming back. But I made sure that the attunements were done, and then I think I just went, okay, I'm gonna go out now. Wow, you're so shiny. We can just come like, wow, so shiny and clean. How do you guys feel? I feel light and clean too. Ooh, who said Star Trek holodeck? Someone said Star Trek holodeck. What's the holodeck? Isn't that the Beam Me Up Scotty? It's pretty cool. So when I was up there, I said, oh, Jacinta, what do you mean a hologram deck? I'm curious about that. So I did a book with a guy named Brett Leonard. that we haven't published yet. We may publish it, but just waiting to do another channeling session with him. But the guide said, we think it's so cute that the dolls in the dollhouse are building dollhouses. Like, basically, like, life is a virtual reality, and that consciousness basically is endless, and that we're actually living like in a reality of a reality. And when people get caught up in this, oh, I'm living in a reality of a reality, well, this is lame. Like, I think Isabel and I got pissed when we realized that. Isabel, why? We were like, oh God, that's horrible. If this isn't real, then what's the whole freaking point? And the whole point is that kind of like, it's not to be like, oh, it's like the Matrix, the movie, but it's kind of to live in this world. What is it? In this world, but not of it. You know, to be able to walk upon this earth and know, wait a second, this is a hologram that I'm living in. This isn't like a real reality. But when you can say, when you're mad, like when I'm mad at Jeff, I actually did this the other day. I said, I am now whole. I am now whole. This diamond thing is brand new to me. I've never really experienced it before. So that's probably why they wanted me to do this class so bad. Because we're writing like finishing up writing this course. So it's funny that they're like, you have to do this. So clearly I need to put that attunement in. But this diamond consciousness is very new to me. However, the other day I started getting really irritated with Jeff, and my mom's in town right now, and my mom always triggers me because the way that our parents and the way that our families trigger us is that they take us back to the last known resonant state that we've been in. So me and my mom tend to go back. We figured out to like 1999. That's where we go back to. I become 1999 Marissa. And we're going to go over more common sense stuff next week, like where we realize we're going to find out how old we are in each chakra. So depending on which chakra you're in, you're a completely different age. And the whole key to self-actualization and self-realization is that you're no age, that you're not living through your chakra system, that you're basically this light being that's fully activated. A lot of us aren't even activated past here. I noticed when we were all leaving, I looked back and I was like, oh wow, mostly everybody is about activated to about right here as far as their light body goes. And then it's just like almost like darkness up here. And as we like learn and grow and develop more, it's almost like the lights come on or something. And we just, I guess when we fully light up and we fully activate is maybe when we're done with the game or something. I'm not quite sure what happens. Peter, we're done, booyah! And he like slams like a football down on the ground. Mm-hmm. He just spiked a football about a self-actualization. Anyways, so could that be why? Let me see. I know, I love Peter too. I realized that Peter, I think, is a fairy, and because I asked to see his real self, and he's like about this big. So Peter comes in when I end up in my second chakra, so it's down in like the elemental self, and that makes sense because I get really nervous in front of people at class, and I was explaining to someone the other day that I had to say thank you to everybody at my baby shower, and there was like 30 people there that were all my friends, and I almost had like a nervous breakdown talking to 30 people about saying thank you for my baby shower. Like human Marissa, public speaking, like I need a couple shots of like tequila first or something, but higher self Marissa, like when I'm able to bring my conscious awareness up above and into the higher states of me, it's like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm Marissa, and I'm here to tell you this, and that. It's like no problem. So when Jeff and I started arguing the other day, and then when my mom was here last night, was her first night here, or maybe the second night, we always were like, oh, let's eat popcorn and watch movies. Like that's what we always love doing in our flamingo pants, and we stand with our foot up on the side, and we pretend to be flamingos, and it's fun, and that's just what we've always done. And we never did that for the last 3 times she's been here since I've had babies. I've been in a constant adrenaline rush. And so this time, her trip out, I was like, okay, I'm not going to be in an adrenaline rush the whole time. So when she said something the other night, I almost got defensive and I almost dropped down to like lower Marissa, 1999 Marissa, that was like on drugs and mad and angry, and she was my enabler, like codependent. And I just said, I am whole again. I am whole again. And I went, whoosh, and like all this stuff kind of like shed off of me, and I went, oh, thank God. So I recommend that to you guys if you guys want to try that this week. I am whole again. I am whole again. And this week wasn't as much about like the time traveling as like next week and the rest of the weeks will be, where you're actually going to, one of the exercises is actually what allowed me to forgive Jason, my dead ex-boyfriend, when my guides actually had me feel what he felt like when the cops pulled us over and he threw the dope underneath my seat. Like, I mean, you can't forgive somebody for something like that when you're just this like naive little girl that's like puppy love, in love with some boy, and you know, he's getting high, you're not, and he throws drugs under your seat and you get arrested. So it's like, that's like was the beginning of like the end of my life pretty much. And when the guides brought me into his field to feel what he felt like, I felt so much compassion for him as a human being in general that it made me cry. And I realized that it wasn't about what was going to happen to us. It was, I'm going to cry right now. It's about like the soul contract. It's about the stuff that, you've done in other lifetimes and the stuff that they've done in lifetimes, and it's about the exchange of energy. So it was like all of a sudden I felt like, oh my God, we're even. Like that's literally what I thought, we're even now. And it was like, okay. It was like, oh, it's okay now. So that's going to be something we're going to work on over the period of this course. But it's compassion is what Christ taught, what they say Jesus taught. And, you know, if I'm saying like, if Jesus is just, if we're all just a movie, then that's a movie too, you know, but Jesus came here to teach us how to get out of our first chakra and into our second, using compassion and forgiveness. And compassion for another person who's hurt you is the best thing you could ever do for yourself, because then they don't rent space in your head. Then they are not in your head all the time, rattling your brain, you know, bringing it back. So don't do it yet. Don't go into somebody that's hurt you yet. You need to do it in a protective state, and you need to do it in a certain way. But once you learn how to do it, then I wouldn't teach others without this attunement. But you can actually like really, really change your life. People with PTSD, you can actually like, you know, there's a lot of military guys that I've worked with that have been relieved of PTSD. I'm not going to use the word healed, because I don't think it's a sickness or anything. I think that it's spirit attachments. I think it's soul fragments of the person maybe that they killed or something. But by them going into that person and seeing from that person's standpoint and saying, oh, they got to leave this plane. They're done. They're gone. That PTSD kind of goes away. So it's really fascinating how much our consciousness gets shattered and we fall into these little tiny versions of us. So I am whole again. I am whole again. I am whole again. That's what they're saying 3 times. Mary, Mary's going to lecture us. Kyla, that's not compassion and empathy overload. That's there's a difference between compassion and there's a difference between like feeling sorry for or what's that word? Oh gosh, it's at the tip of my tongue. You guys are gonna know. Like feeling sorry for people is pity. There's a difference between pity, and then pity would be superiority. So it's like the root frequency of pity is superiority. So if you're like, oh, I feel so bad for all these people, I'm going to help all. I'm not saying this is what you're doing. I'm just saying that this is when we catch ourselves feeling like too much compassion for everyone around us. Compassion should be felt for humanity as a whole, yes. But when you start to get anger involved, it's not compassion anymore. Now it's you're angry about something inside, so you're attaching onto something outside of you. So everything's internal. If something gets you fired up, and this is what someone said, what's the good of Reiki anyways? I love Reiki because Reiki teaches about the shadow inside and the golden aspect, the shadow aspect, and the golden shadow. So when you get anything like fired up inside, you just basically send compassion to it or compassion to yourself, and it just dissolves it. So this will be posted on the tier 3.5 people. I'm going to start, now that it's just online only, I'll start kind of cutting and editing out like the meditations, and they'll probably be on the website for sale or whatever. But we're just working on all that stuff. It's like lots of stuff. So what is ego? Ego, yeah, condescension. Oh, condescension, pity. Yeah, and but you know, it's the like I do that. I'll feel sorry for people, and then that's like what I was doing the other week. I was like, oh, I feel sorry for that person, and then I start like giving them all these free readings and letting them come to the office, and oh, they can just hang out all the time, and you know, and then I'm like, oh, I get all bitter and like all angry, like, oh, I'm being used, and it's like, no, you dipstick, you're the one that is like needing the reassurance that you're needed, or needing the reassurance that you're not a loser, or needing whatever it is that you're needing. Little Marissa needs to know that she's needed. So I'm attracting all these people that need me, and then I'm pissed off about it because my family, I don't have time for my family or whatever. So we are the creators of all of our own stuff. So kind of take a look at that in your own life. But yeah, so the messages are important all the time. Yeah. Gotcha, cool. So the, let me see if there's any other questions. Oh yeah, tier 4, let me see, but I missed a lot. Will re-listen? Will the re-listen also work? Yeah, absolutely, Shelly. And I think that you guys could listen to that a few times. I'm gonna listen to it a bunch of times. I'm gonna be like, take me up to that self. What was interesting, if anybody wants to write like on Patreon, because I know most of you are on Patreon, I literally saw myself in a green room. Like I went up out of like this hole in the roof, and I was standing on top of like almost like, what are those, you know, those tents that they have at like the festivals where they do like sound, what's that place called? It's like the Astrodome or whatever. It looked like this ball with all these like, almost like a disco ball, like multifaceted ball, all these little panels everywhere, and I was standing on top of it, and I looked inside and I saw like space and earth and just kind of like the universe. And when I stepped up out of it, I was like, whoa, I'm in a green room. And then when I lifted up out of the green room, I was in like a studio, literally in the year 2365. And then I lifted up even more, and I was like a star, or I was like out somewhere in some other world. But it was really interesting. And I asked them, where was I? And they said, you were just going through your different chakras. And I was like, oh, I